Coach Diaz, can you hear us?
We can.
Great. Congratulations on the win, Coach. If you could start maybe with an opening statement, we'll go into questions from our media who are on the call.
Yeah, proud of the resiliency of our team. App State is a really good football team. They made it tough on us. We made it tough on ourselves. I can't even count how many scoring opportunities we had where we were on, I think, inside their 40-yard line. And because of our inability to get points in those situations, that kept them in the game. We also gave away 10 points in the kicking game. So it was all the things that, if from App State's perspective, that you would want to be able to stay in the game. This is what they do. This is App State. They go on the road, and they take down people on the road. But they didn't take us down. And that's because the defense, who I thought played outstanding all night, gave up one drive in the fourth. App took the lead, and offense responded with a great drive to retake the lead. Andres Borregales with a clutch kick. Guy was awesome in the fourth quarter. And as it turns out, all three phases did enough in the last 6 minutes of the game to clinch a victory. With that, I'll do questions.
If you have a question for Coach Diaz, please use the hand raise function on Zoom, and we'll get that to everyone we can. And we'll start with Tim Reynolds from the Associated Press. Tim, go ahead.
Thanks, Kim. Manny, first off, can you give us, did you get any preliminary update on some of the injuries, particularly Don?
Yeah, don't have the official word, so I'm not going to say anything for sure, but I know with Don Chaney and Keontre, neither initial prognosis was good. But like I said, we'll find out more when guys get examined tomorrow. But it was not good for both guys. Big losses for our team.
Manny, and to follow up, there was a lot of things that obviously didn't go right tonight. One of the things that did right, your freshman kicker came up, stepped up twice in the fourth quarter and delivered. You knew what you had when you got him, but just how big of a stepping stone can this be for that kid?
Yeah, you know what you have, but you don't know what someone's going to do in that situation. To go in there in the fourth quarter like that, to bang out two clutch kicks that we had to have, that's pretty special. And we don't want to put him in that situation that often, but to know that if you get in that spot, to have a guy that's got the confidence to make it, and I think the entire sideline believed that kick was going to go in.
Coach, we're going to go to Manny Diaz from The Athletic. So as a reminder on the call, please turn off your mic after you're done asking your question. Thank you.
Hey, Manny, just what did you see in the passing game? Obviously, it looked like a struggle all night with Eric and getting a lot of the passes deflected. Can you just talk about that and why it was so hard maybe for you guys to get going?
Yeah, it was hard. It was a struggle in the intermediate passing game. Had a hard time, finding the open guys in the middle of the field. As you mentioned, there were some passes that were batted down. We had some success going down the outside lanes, down the field. I thought some guys made some really good catches out there for him. But it was tough. I think Derek admitted, I don't think, and he'll come in, he'll talk to you. I don't think he felt like he was at his best tonight, throwing the ball. But all that being said, we still marched the ball down the field enough times to put up a big number. We just couldn't get it done when we got down there. And that was some self-inflicted errors, penalties on the short side of the field. Obviously, we had a touchdown call back on a fourth and short. These are the things that we've got to get corrected as we get into the rest of our schedule.
Coach, we'll go to David Lake at 24/7. David, go ahead.
Coach, I was just wondering what your assessment is of the run defense, and then specifically Nesta, Silvera. How do you feel like he played overall today?
Yeah, from the field, it felt like Nesta played very well, very disruptive, made a lot of plays in the backfield. I don't have the stats in front of me. I think we outrushed him, and that's very hard to do against App State. I felt the run defense was really good. There was a couple mistakes where some misfits where a run got out. But I was very pleased with how we defended the run. We took a team that prides himself on running stretch and just running stretch on everybody. And they started running a bunch of other stuff. They started running counters. Things they had not shown at all a year ago. So, I think they felt that they couldn't get their bread and butter going against us. And I thought our front seven versus the run game, did a really nice job. I think we're developing a little bit of an identity again back in our run defense on defense.
Coach, we've got David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead.
Hey, Manny. First drive, I think you guys get a sack. It seemed like you were getting a lot of pressure on those first couple of drives, and then they started to kind of maybe slowing you guys down or figure things out. I'm wondering what you saw from them to kind of adjust to the pressure you guys brought and maybe some of the challenges their offense gave you.
They went ball out quick. We'll look at the time of operation of their throw game as it went on, but a lot of their stuff was quick curls, quick slants, 1, 2, 3 hitch, throw a fade type deal. So a lot of it was just stuff where the ball was kind of out quick. They did hit the big one on the explosive one on the touchdown drive there in the fourth quarter. That was against the pressure that we looked like we were tired blitzing, and it looked like we were tired covering, to be honest, just a poor defensive execution on that play. But yeah, they're a hard team to sack. A lot of max protection, and on third down, they were just kind of just getting the ball out quick before we could get back there.
Coach, we've got a couple more. We'll go back to Manny tomorrow from the Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey Manny, I guess I know you're gonna have to look at the film, but were you able to see it at all at halftime? What happened on the kick return for the touchdown, and then also just in general overall thoughts, man, after 2 games? I know obviously you guys played a juggernaut last week in Alabama, but it felt like you guys didn't play at your best tonight. What's your overall feeling of where the team is after 2 games?
What was your first question? The kicking game? Oh, the kickoff return?
Yeah, the kick return.
Yeah, there was a couple guys. You got some promising young guys that are down there on kickoff coverage. They go sideline return, so guys got to be on the left side of a block. We got a couple guys that come in on the right side of a block. That's going to create a seam. In the backside, the safety is supposed to roll back, and so if it does spit to our left, the right-sided safety and Borgal should be able to get it on the ground. There's no right-sided safety to be found, so it was just 3 or 4 guys, and that guy's like a 10-3 100-meter guy, Sun Belt Conference champion, I believe, the guy that ran it back. So combination of our guys not doing their job and then a guy that can really roll. Their wideouts are really good. They have 3 really, really good wideouts who would play for just about everybody in our conference. And it just happened to kick the ball to one that, and when we don't fit it up, that's what's going to happen. In terms of, what you're talking about in terms of where we are through 2 games, I look at where we are through today because really our present moment is where we're at. We grinded out a win. We found a game to win where we didn't play well, like you say. But when you say you didn't play well, you still look at a lot of stuff. I mean, you still outgained this team by a bunch. We just didn't score. And that's our issue. What we've got to get solved from the last 2 weeks is that the biggest thing on our football team is that when we get the ball in the red zone, we've got to get touchdowns. And right now, we're not getting touchdowns. And not creating separation on a scoreboard. I mean, really, for a better part of a couple of quarters, we were really, in my mind, dominating their offense. But through special teams errors, the kickoff return, and then just not getting touchdowns on offense, it kept the game close. And when games are close, anything can happen. It come down to one play. Today's came down to a play. It happened to go our way. But we've got to get better on our red zone offense. We've got to finish drives with touchdowns. We're moving the ball inside the 20s. And we've got to eliminate silly, a wide receiver not lining up on the ball on Cam Harris's touchdown on 4th and 2. Talk about guys that can make plays down the field. They can, but they got to know on this formation, I'm on the ball. That takes 4 points off the scoreboard. It'd been nice to have those at the end. So these are things that are on us as coaches that we've got to get corrected to give us a chance to score the way we think this offense is capable of scoring.
Last 2 for you, Manny. We'll go back to Tim Reynolds from the AP. Tim?
Manny, I'm almost embarrassed to ask this. I don't know if you heard about it postgame or not. A cat fell into the stands tonight from the upper deck and got caught by some fans. Did you hear anything about that postgame? Were you briefed on that at all? Were you guys aware of the commotion and any of that?
I was just briefed to figure that I might be asked. Tim, I appreciate your level of being almost embarrassed to ask. I'm more curious of the wording of your question that you said the cat fell into the flag, as if there was the cat, that everybody should know what cat that you're referring to, as if there's just a cat that haunts Hard Rock Stadium. I don't know anything about that or what was going on. But I'll tell you, if the cat will help us in our red zone offense, I'll see if we can give it a scholarship.
Danny, last one for you. I'm not sure if it's a Eli-related question or not, but we have Kobe Fernandez from the Sun Center. Kobe, go ahead.
Yeah, I promise my question isn't on any catch. Man, you mentioned the red zone offense. What is, I guess, the biggest thing holding you guys back from that standpoint? You mentioned the penalties, but what's, I guess, the number one thing you guys need to solve?
Well, Kobe, without answering, Kobe, didn't turn off your. There you go. Without seeing the film, where you can see maybe some of the individual technique errors that might be getting us. We have had just off memory. We've had penalties. We get a 15-yard OPI called on Harley. It took a 1st and 10. We take a shot. At the minimum, it should be 2nd and 10. Turns to 1st and 25 at midfield. It's hard to convert 1st and 25. They're going to play a bunch of drop eight, keep the ball in front of them. probably more consistency in the run game. It gets harder to throw the ball when you get down there close, and we got to get more consistent in the run game. So there could be a lot of things. I mean, that's what we'll do tomorrow as coaches and find out where we're at, because it would, I mean, it looks the way it looks. It would not have taken finishing many more drives than what we had down there to turn this game into a rout. That's just the reality. And like I said, I wish I had the numbers in front of me of how many trips we had inside the 40-yard line, but it scored, what do we have, 25? 25 tonight? To get 25 points when we had to drive at the 2 or 3-yard line or wherever, to get 25 points with the time we had the ball inside the 40-yard line, that's not playing winning football. And that, to me, would have changed the outlook on everything else that occurred today. No different than like I mentioned last week. I mean, third down defense would have changed the outlook on how much everything looked in that game, because if you lose the critical situations to a team like that, that's what's going to happen. And today, losing a critical situation of red zone offense keeps the game tight, and that makes it tough.
Manny, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Congratulations on the win.
Okay, thank you all.